Hi, everybody. We are back again this week at Jason's Draw and Paint Club. So tonight what we're going to do is we are going to work on some cartoons. So this is for, people of all ages, kids, adults, parents and kids. Bluetooth connected. Parents, kids, go ahead, grab your pencils, grab some paper. We're going to be making some cartoon animals tonight. I'm going to show you some basic formulas. We're going to have a lot of fun creating. We're going to start with household pets, and then we'll move on to more exotic animals, and I will be, of course, taking requests. So this is all brought to you by my website. Please check it out, cartoonsandcreatures.com. cartoonsandcreatures.com. You can check that out anytime. My portfolio, etc., is there. So, welcome to HAPS. We have not done this format before. Lindsay Badger, thank you so much for subscribing. That is fantastic. That's the sort of thing we need, guys. That would be fantastic for everybody if you want to go ahead and, subscribe to the HAPS channel. That'd be fantastic. If you're watching this on Facebook or on my Facebook page, The Art of Jason Robert LeClaire, or on YouTube or on Twitch, you can comment and it will pop up over here with me and I'll be able to respond. I don't always get to all of them because I'm going to be drawing at the same time I'm talking with you. But if you'd like to download the HAPS app, it's really, really cool. There's a lot here to work with and a lot of people making wonderful television here on the HAPS app. Subscribe and you'll get notified when I go live, and you can support my work on HAPS at any given moment. With dropping in what they call awards, or just saying hi, tell me where you're from, that sort of thing. So, without further ado, let's get to the fun stuff. I don't know why the no problema keeps coming up. I want to get rid of the no problema, but I can't. So I will find out that. I'm relatively new to HAPS. This is my third broadcast. The first two were, the first one was kind of like a trial go. The second one was fantastic. My friend Bobby came in and we did some live drawing and we just chilled on Friday afternoons. I'm going to be trying to chill with you guys. Hello from Pittsburgh. Molly, hi, it's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's talk about cartoons. And we're going to start with basic cartoon structure. So, Marge, thank you for chiming in. We will definitely see you next week. Get some rest. Good to have you. So, here we go. We're going to talk about basic cartoon structure. And the first thing that we need to do is think about the cartoon in different portions. Let me zoom in here a little bit. We're going to talk about heads. We're going to look at eyes. We're going to look at noses. I know I spelled that wrong, but it's funny. Ears. Okay. We're just going to keep it with that right now. We're making what's called a cartoon alphabet. I'll write that down below. And in our cartoon alphabet, it's just like making a word, right? So if we want to make the word heads, we need 4 letters. So let's talk about what we're going to make for letters. The best thing to start off with whenever you're doing cartoons is geometric shapes. So let's see, let's do an oval. Let's do a circle. Oh, that's just a long oval. Let's do a kind of trapezoidal sort of thing. And let's do a tilted triangle. So I've got 4 different kind of choices right there. Eyes. Well, eyes can be anything. You can even just make a couple of dots and you've got eyes. Now I can make them happy eyes. Yay! I can do the same 2 dots, and just by changing the direction of the eyebrows, I've got mean eyes. Hello from Denver, Chris. Good to have you. And you can get really complicated. You can always go for like the classic cartoon eyes. Whoop. You can do realistic eyes if you really feel like it. Or actually, this is more of a, just a standard cartoon eye. But for our purposes, we're going to be doing, some fun little eyes. And you can go all over the place with them, and I'll show you some different tricks and trips as we go through. Noses. Well, we're going to be primarily going on animals. So I'm going to make animal noses. You can have just the rounded triangle nose. Okay. You can do the oval nose. Turn down the music a little bit. Cool. Okay, so we've got the oval nose right there. You've got, some noses are like this. Then we've got my favorite. We can do beaks. Or you can even just... Oh, that's a mouth. Well, you could make that a giant nose. There we go. Ears. Ears are a variety of ears. You got puppy dog ears. You got cat ears. Mouse ears. Okay, we got all sorts of different ears for there. Mouths can be... I forgot mouths. Oh, I can't believe I forgot mouths. It's because animals don't speak, Jay. So I did start a mouth over there. You get a mouth like this. You can have mouths that are very simple. There's a cartoon mouth right there, and you'd put a little nose on top of that like that. And mouths can be in all shapes and sizes. You can always do the not so friendly mouth, and so on and so forth. So once you've kind of made a cartoon alphabet and noses that can be booped, oh yeah, absolutely noses that can be booped. Just simple round nose. Boop. Once you've got kind of an alphabet going on, you can go ahead and you can make a character out of the alphabet. So I'm going to try to do something right in this area using my alphabet, and I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to grab the long oval, right? And then I'm going to grab the kind of goofy googly eyes. I like those. And I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to grab the classic inverted triangle nose, and I'll attach it up there. Then I'll make one of those simple mouths. Oh no, look what I got. I got the ears. I got a dog. Now I'd probably do some refinement to that and make it even better, and that's what I'm going to show you tonight. So here we go. Let's not waste paper. We can go on the back of this one. Okay. There we go. So thank you so much for showing up tonight. I'd love to have you guys here. Let's start with a cat. We're going to start with a general cat design when we are dealing with, like I said, we're going to start with pets and go from there. So let's start with a cat design. Sorry about the manual focus stuff, guys. It's just kind of how this works. So we're going to start with how I would generally do a cat. I do cats with oval heads. because I think the oval head going sideways really works well for these guys. I'm going to put a line down the middle. This is where the nose is going to be lined up. And then I'm going to put a nice little line right here where I'm going to put the eyes. Okay? And everything has this nice center point. So let's start with that nose. I know that my kitties have kind of that inverted triangle nose. Just like that. It almost looks like a smile. And they got a little bridge to the nose up here. So they've got kind of a rounded top like that. Okay, all different cats have all different types of noses. So you got all different ways you can do it. Cats usually have, well, cat eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. My cat is a princess. So I'm going to give her princess eyes. And how I do a princess eye is I do a line that swoops for that upper lid and the eyelash. And then I'm going to draw a circle in the middle. And that's going to be my cat eyeball. Now, cats are fun because you make a couple of ovals right here. And you've got the cat cheeks and the cat mouth. Now, I usually put a little line down the bottom just to be like, you know, here's the bottom lip. I realize you guys are probably having a more difficult time seeing if I don't do this. So far I've got pretty much a face structure, and all I've done is a bunch of shapes. Now I'm going to make kind of a weird triangle on either side. This cat's got big ears. It's like a Siamese. Okay, nice big points like that. All right. And then cats have the outer cheek. I want to give some eyebrows because it's a cartoon, so we can have these anthropomorphic, big word. You can have these features that look slightly human as we're doing this, and that's just perfectly fine. And then I'm going to make this kitty a little plump kitty. I kind of like that, There we go. So I've got a cat face. That's great. Now what do I do? Well, it's a Siamese, so I'm going to give it a nice thin neck. It doesn't really matter what size you do things in cartoon world. And looks like we had a little blur there. I'm going to take another shape. I'm going to make like a teardrop shape. Almost like an upside down cone for the body. And I'm going to make a couple of ovals right in the front. I'm going to make half ovals on the side. And kind of like half a heart on each side that way. Okay, now I can divide these into 3. And I can even draw a little wiggly tail. If I go like this and make a couple lines, now oops, that one's off. Oh well. Now my cat's got paws and everything. So that's a cat. What we're going to do is we're going to do the sketches on these things, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how to ink them in and give them a lot of nice detail. So we've got a cat. Well, here in the US, cats and dogs are probably the most common of pets. So let's go for dog. I've got dogs too. I love my dogs. And we're going to make, I've got beagles. So I'm going to make like a standard dog. And here we go. I'm going to do the kind of like large oval. I go again with my lines. I'm going to make the upper line way up because I want that big long snout going on for my dog here. And I'm going to make that rounded nose. I'm going to do one of these, which doesn't look particularly exactly like a dog nose, but it's a cartoon, so we can kind of like flub it. And I just fill this in just like that, so I know where my nose is. It's almost like a Mickey Mouse nose, sort of, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make a top to that. Speaking of Mickey. So we'll do it kind of like a Disney cartoon. So I made 2 eyes right there. I've got a couple of lines. I'm only making a few lines, guys. Now, with the dog, I'm going to come down and I'm going to join this with a giant swoop. Okay. Going to make a couple of ovals for the eyeballs that are looking right at us. Now, it's a dog, and dogs do this a lot. Let's give it open mouth right here, and dogs have a tongue that's constantly wagging. So we can do another line right underneath that one. So we're making a U, and then a half a heart up top. Okay? Again, we're just using basic shapes and basic things. Beagles are awesome dogs. I have 2 of them, and they are amazing. I love my beagles. Thank you, Molly. Another beagle lover out in the audience. So what I'm going to do now is those dog ears that I showed you, I'm going to actually show you the formula for that. We're going to draw kind of like a triangle coming off the top. Now, as far as dogs go, we could actually kind of leave it like that. We'd be all set. But I want some floppy going on here. So I'm going to draw an arc coming down, a little arc here, and then I'm going to draw another arc. Now I've got floppier dog ears. Yay! Now this dog, we're going to make this dog just one big dog. We're not going to really worry about the neck right now. I think I'm going to make him, we're going to have some fun here. So I'm going to come down straight from here to make my dog. This is where we get very un-Disney. And I'm going to make kind of a bulb. Okay, my cat is going crazy, pawing at the window. It is twilight here in Rhode Island, which means in New England, it is rabbit time. So all of the rabbits are outside of the window just begging her to come and get them through the window. Good luck. So I'm going to pull this up just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing down here. I'm going to make this little guy, I'm going to give his paws kind of under his belly. And I'm going to make the back paws also kind of back there under him. So he's a very roly-poly puppy. I'll give him a little tiny tail. And we got our roly-poly puppy. And what we can do is we can give him like a little half circle here so we know where the legs are, and a half circle here. And then we'll get rid of this when we do the ink. There's our roly-poly puppy. And of course, you know, what would a dog be without a dog collar? My guys don't wear collars. My guys wear harnesses. Much safer for your dogs, by the way. PSA. You know, especially if you take them for a walk, you definitely want a harness on them and not a collar. It's just better for the dog. In my humble, non-veterinary, non-sponsored opinion. And so I gave him a little dog tag there. Here we go. Yay! Oh, Beagle ears are so floppy and droopy. When my guy was a puppy, my younger one was a puppy, his ears were just way too big for his body. It was very funny. I am going to waste the page here a little bit because if I'm going to do ink, I don't want it to go further in there. So now let's deal with small pets. And we can deal with small pets a little bit different today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab... here we go. I'm coming over here. I'm going to grab... I've got all my tools all right next to me. And I'm going to grab what's called a non-photo blue pencil. So this is a cartoonist tool. And works just like a regular pencil, but this is going to be a little bit more visible for you as we go around and do this. Your cat was taunted by squirrels and the wires laughing at him. Ooh, you got to record squirrel laughter for me because that's just too precious. So here we go. We're going to make a goldfish. So we start with kind of an eye shape for the goldfish. And then I'm going to do a nice big circle right here. Now you guys comment to me. Can you see that okay? Is that all right or is it too light? You can go back to pencil. I think that blue is a little too light. Non-photo blue, and I'm trying to photograph it here in a video. That's a smart idea, Jay. Okay, back here in that rear fin, I'm going to just do a triangle. Now you're looking at this going, oh my gosh, he's doing the ones we did in kindergarten. Yes and no. I'm going to go up here and make kind of a trapezoid. It almost looks like a old-fashioned Boy Scout hat. In the front, I'm just going to come out and do a little arc. Give him a half circle here. We're going to open up the mouth just by making a V and adding this. This will get filled in. Now, right next to it, to make it three-dimensional, we have a little line and we come up. Now, fish have lots of fins. They've got little tiny dorsal, little tiny fins in the back. And they get the fins that we usually make look like their arms and do lots of things for us here. Now, you don't have to give your fish gills if it's a cartoon fish. You move these in here like this. If you want to give your fish gills, what I would suggest is don't let the fins come up so far. And just go 1, 2, just a couple. And he's a pretty happy fish, so we're going to make him a happy fish. I'm going to make an eyebrow that's got a little depth to it. Okay? Yay, fish! So there we got our fish. Yay, fishy! Okay, and oh, wait a minute. We're going to see the fin, that fin on the other side. Okay, so fish, that's one of our small animals. One of my personal favorites, and it just so happens that we've got like all sorts of small animals. I'll wait till the next page for the turtle because I want some room for the turtle, but let's do one of the easiest characters to make. We're going to do a parakeet. So my friend Mike has really cute birds, and for a parakeet, what is really simple is we are going to make a upside down teardrop shape. Like so. We are going to do our little cross pattern here so that we know what we're doing. For the parakeet beak, we're going to make an upside down U and then a V. Then we make another upside down U on top of it because parakeets have this kind of like, you know, blackish thing here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use those eyes that we talked about earlier that are just dots. Now, right at the line where the eyes meet, this is going to look like the cutest parakeet. We are going to go ahead and make a parakeet wing coming down on either side. We're going to make little feet 2 lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to make parakeet tail, which is going to be another teardrop coming in like this, that we then put a V in the middle of, and we'll get rid of this line. We got our little parakeet. Now we can do lots of things with this. Like we can put some feathers in, like here. You can either make them little V's or little U's work even better because they're cuter. So U, yay. And we've got our little parakeet feathers. Now this parakeet's going to fall down if it stays like this, so we got to give it a perch. A couple lines makes a perch. And there we have our little parakeet. Woohoo! I love parakeets because they're so easy to make. Let's see. What else do we have for small that I can put really small in here? I know! We can go ahead and let's put everybody's favorite small pet, the tarantula. No, the gecko. We'll do a gecko. Geckos are fun. Not going to look like the one that we have selling us insurance. We'll do an upside down U and then curve the bottoms like this. Then we'll do another upside down U, meeting it here. We'll come up, such as this, and then we're going to give the gecko its eyes by making 2 ovals on the side. You can draw a half oval over it. That holds it in place. This is almost like doing a frog, except with a gecko, we get the tiny little body. That's a little round circle. And we get the sticky paws. So we're going to do little triangles here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 teardrops. We're going to take this up to be our little tail. And then geckos are fun because you can put the other legs in pretty much any position you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can make your gecko as chubby or as skinny as you'd like. I'm going to come up here like this. And we've got our little gecko. And spots or whatever you'd like all over him. And we go ahead and we do some erasure before we do the ink and everything, or right after. A bunny! Oh, you got it. Bunny. We got a bunny suggestion. Bunny time! Bunny time. Hello, bunny time. I love making bunnies, and especially because, we got this sort of thing coming out. Let's try some farm pets. And with the bunny, we're going to go almost the same as the cat. We're going to do kind of a rounded head here. Okay? But with the bunny, we're going to go for a super cute bunny. All right? And again, we're doing cartoon bunnies. So we're not going to do like Watership Down bunnies, though. That's a cartoon too, but kids, don't watch that till you're older. I'm going to go and I'm going to make the body as well as the face this time. So my bunny is going to have a body that kind of looks like this. Another teardrop, but a little bit bigger. It's almost like a gumdrop, actually. Then my gumdrop bunny. That's good. My cat is not best. My cat would love to be best friends with some bunnies. The bunnies wouldn't last very long. You know what? I'm not going to put the bunny feet down there. We're going to have the bunny kind of sitting up, because bunnies sitting up are just too darn cute. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a half circle like this and a half circle like this for our bunny paws in the front. Our bunny paws in the back, we're going to do a half circle, and then a really big oval down the bottom because bunnies have nice big feet. Okay, so bunny ears. You want to start, just about halfway in between the markers. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to make a line going straight up. We're not doing a lop-eared bunny. We're doing another bunny. Look, it's the bunny from outer space. No. What you're going to do at this point is you're going to go ahead and you're going to make a half a teardrop in the back. And then you can leave it a little rounded. Do a half a teardrop in the front. So we've got all the components of a bunny except for the face of a bunny. We need the face of a bunny. Okay, so for this bunny, we are going to make, since it was Molly's suggestion, Molly, we're going to do a boop nose. Nose you would boop. And we're just going to do a rounded nose. Kind of looks like a Skittle. And then we're going to do the little tiny eyes. We're going to do them pretty close to the nose. For bunny mouths are down and out, down and out. And bunnies, of course, have whiskers. 1, 2, 3. 1, I forgot to put those on the cat. 3. And this can be the beginnings of our bunny. But we'll do this. We'll make a half round circle right underneath there and put a line in the middle, and we've got bunny teeth. He looks a little worried. It's okay, Mr. Bunny. We'll be back. Bunny. All right. The boopier, the better. There we go. Okay. So I promised a turtle, and these will be our last couple sets before I get into inking them, because inking them takes a little bit, and I want to make sure you guys get some really good ink techniques out of this to make your cartoons just pop right off the page. Okay, so I'm going to make my turtle, and my turtle needs me to make a dome. And we can do, turtles from any angle, but we're going to do this turtle a little complicated. We're going to do it from 3/4 view. Oh no, what do we do? Okay, so we've got that going on there. We're going to make a bottom to what would be our shell. Now, here's where things get kind of interesting. We're going to make a center line that curves down that way. And we're going to make another line that curves down that way. Oh, yes, you guessed it. Another one here, here, and this one's really close to that back line. Great, cool. So we need a place for our turtle head. We're going to make the turtle head over here because otherwise it'll knock into the word view. And for our turtle head, we're gonna make it big, because if it's too small, it doesn't look as cute as it could. I make a nice big round circle here. For the turtle legs, we just make rounded rectangles. 1, 2, 3, and back here is 4. Oh, wrong angle. I'll give it a little tail. Okay. Now, what we can do, if you want to do it, is you can make this shape come in here for the belly of our little turtle. I'm going to have to do some erasure so you guys can see what I'm doing. Now, when you're drawing, please make things light. Draw lightly. So erasing is easier. I have to draw a little harder so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the Haps channel, please do. You can also subscribe to the YouTube. You can like the Facebook pages, etc., etc. I'd be super grateful. So thank you very, very much. For the eyes, we are going to make ovals. One oval's squished and one oval's pretty not squished. The reason why is because our head is turning a little. It means so we need kind of like to continue this line that way. And we're going to have our little turtle looking out at us. But what we're going to do with that eye, these two half circles, is right now he looks a little shocked. We're going to make him look a little sleepy. So we just do a nice little curved line over here. Now he looks kind of like Eeyore. For a turtle mouth, we make a line this way and a line this way. And he's got an Eeyore attitude, so we'll just go ahead and droop down the back end. Give him a little lower lip. And eyebrows that go like this. Oh, he's not happy. Well, not every single animal can be happy. So for our turtle up here, what we do is we take this little umbrella shape. We make a line down the bottom. And then we make a slightly curved line. Three of them, boom, boom, boom. So it looks like half a globe. All right? And you'll see what we do with that later. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Little turtle fingers. Upside down U's. Turtle toes. All right. And so we have our little turtle. You know, the one pet we haven't hit, the one common pet we haven't hit, we have not done a rodent. There's no mice in this whole thing. We need mice. Let's get a mouse. Okay. I'm going to make another cute mouse. This one is going to be looking straight at us, but he's going to have his head slightly tilted, or she will have her head tilted, or the mouse, whatever. So in order to tilt it properly, we make that axis that way. We do this one this way. And for this mouse, we are going to give this mouse a giant mouse nose. And I'm going to draw the body afterwards because I really kind of want to focus on the head on this one. Okay. I'm going to draw a couple of down U's. And then big, giant cheeks. So this can also be done for a gerbil. Gerbils just have little tiny bodies. We're going to make the mouse have a couple of different features in a gerbil. For the mouse, we want a rectangle with a little thing down the bottom. And give him some eyes. Now for the ears, we make a big circle. And we just join it up to the outside of the cheek. We make a smaller circle on the inside. And that smaller circle should have lots of room at the top and a little room at the bottom. Now for this mouth, I'm going to make him look a little silly. I'm going to give him paws this way. I'm going to go ahead and start at the end of the paw. I'm going to do 1, 2, and then I'm going to give him a little belly. And of course, nice, mousy tail. He's kind of goofy looking. That's okay. Goofy looking's fine. And so I've got my mouse. Yay, mouse. Okay, cool. Now, where do we go from here? Well, guys, it's time for inking. Yay! I use microns, but you guys don't have to. You can use any kind of ink marker you want to, any kind of felt pen. I'm going to try to go ahead and do this in such a way that is just regular. I'm not going to go into all the little tiny finite details I normally would, because this isn't about that. This is just about learning how to draw some, cute little cartoons today. So we'll go back to our mouse friend. And what we do is I usually follow the outside line. I'm not going to do any of the inside stuff yet. I'm going to follow the outside lines. The shape of my little friend. Now when I get to the toes, I can actually go in. I'm going to zoom in here so I show you what I'm doing. And I tuck the toe by going up here a little bit behind the other toe. It seems silly, but it makes the toes all look a little rounder. I'll show you again. Tuck the toe. Tuck the toe. And underneath. And there we go. Woohoo! Hey, how are you, Frenchie? It's so good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're on the inking phase of our cartoon fun. So remember what I said, guys. We are going for the outside lines right now. And I'm going to give them a little tuss to hair up here because I just think it's funny. 1, 2, 3. Almost like a little crown, but it's hair. I'm going to move this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Again, just going around the outside lines. I'm following my lines. Am I not perfect with my lines? Of course I'm not perfect with the lines. Why? Because I'm not a machine. I'm a person. So, my lines get a little bit off. That's okay. It's not a problem to have lines that aren't perfect. Nobody's perfect. So don't worry about it. Okay? Now I can start on the inside of my mouse. Yes, I didn't do the tail. That's another subject. I'm going to start where I started last time. I'm going to start here with the nose. And then I'm going to make my eyes. Then my cheeks. And I can just join up these lines to those. Or you can start where you ended and come forward. And come up with these. Now, what do we do with the head on the inside? Well, that's kind of a conundrum, right? We start here, and we don't go all the way. We leave a little room here so the ears look like they're attached to the head. There you go. Now I'm going to start at the back end here, and I'm going to come up to the mouth. To the mouth down to there. We get our little teeth for our mousy friend. And now we can hit the rest of the body up. Again, I'm going to do a little bit up to make those fingers look a little rounded. And again, guys, this is my style of cartoon. Well, it's my style of simple cartoon. And you don't have to follow this exactly. These are just formulas that I learned along the way from some of my cartooning teachers when I was younger. Now, I don't like how this tail turned out in the first place. I'm going to go nice and slow back around. I'm going to try to stay closer to the other line this time. There we go. Yay! So that's part of this. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, Frenchie. So again, our friend the mouse has whiskers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He's so cute. All right, but we're not done with him yet. I'm going to put aside my drawing marker, and now I'm going to grab my filling marker. I've got a nice brush here that I'm going to fill with. And so you grab a bigger marker, and I draw, let me do that again. I'm going to draw where the glint is in the eye as a half circle, fill in everything else. For the nose, I'm going to draw where the glint is. I'm going to put another little one here because it's cute. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the nose. And there's our little friend. Now, normally what I'd also suggest is making sure that they have something to stand on. So I just do a little shadow underneath my mouse, and I keep all of my lines going the same way. So now it looks like they're not necessarily floating out in space. Space mouse! Let's go down to our sad little turtle here.
Oh, poor little turtle. Oh, no.
They're so sad. That's okay, Mr. Turtle. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You got a 3/4 view. You're the only person that got a 3/4 view. Now stop being so glum. So once again, we are going to go to the outside lines on our turtle friend. And I'm going to put those toes in by going around. Around and around. For a couple of these, I'm going to use a different technique, but I'm just reinforcing this one this time. Okay, we're just going to go around and do the outsides. Oops, missed one there. Now for the shell, I'm going to do the same thing I did for the mouse, except what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make like a little cut. You don't have to make the cut if you don't want to. I like doing that because it makes the shell look like it's in different pieces. Okay, so there we go. We got our little shelled guy here. Now let's go ahead and let's join up those. Come up here with this here. And we're going to make our eyelids first. Why? Because I want to kind of like start with that. It's the covering for the eye. And that if I mess up where that goes, I can make the round portion here look better. Now what you want to do is see where I've made it go indented a little. Absolutely indent your eye, because if you indent your eye, it's going to be underneath that lid. Haha! So we come down with that line, up with this line. I'm going to put a little action line there. And a little other line here. I'm going to make these eyebrows a little bit wider than we had them. And now we get all the detail in the turtle. Aha, that tickled my toes. For some reason he just sounds like that in my head. Now, this is where this gets fun. You can make little diamonds at the intersection of each of these. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's too much detail. It doesn't matter, Padawan. Make the detail. The reason why you make the detail is twofold. First reason, it looks cool. Second reason, it's going to help you guideline through this. Okay? Because now all you have to do is connect these corners. And it gives you a little leeway to kind of like mess up. And it'll be fine. It'll look perfect. It'll look great. It'll be the best thing after sliced bread. I don't know. I usually don't buy sliced bread. I usually make my own bread. That sounded super pompous. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to show you some other tricks with this guy in just a second. And the reason why, I'll show you the reason why the diamonds come in real handy when making a turtle. He's going to get a little bit more detail and a little bit more complicated. Now, if you've gone that far, you got a turtle. You got a good turtle. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the black in the eye. To kind of finish that up. And then I'll show you guys a trick that is a detail addition trick. If you take and go, oh, we're getting extreme close up, and make a kind of dotted line between these, what you get is you get three-dimensional plates on our turtle friend. So on and so forth. So I'm going to make that outline right in the middle of there. And I'm going to attach these. That's another method of doing them. And I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but I'm going to show you what happens when you do just a little bit of shading. Get that little bit of shading done. And you can see if we did that through the whole thing, you'd have a nice kind of three-dimensional. Maybe you would smile a little bit if we did that. Oh, you're so frustrating. I got a good mind to just make this a big hole. Smile, buddy. Some other details that you can put in. I like doing swirly knees on my turtles because they're cute. And then you can make the back legs in shadow to indicate to your viewer that they are in the back. Okay. Well, that was fun for small pets over there. Let's move to small pets. Here we go. Molly, it's bunny time. Bunny time. So now we're going to have some fun with the bun bun. In that I am going to grab my chisel tip marker pen. Ha 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 ha. And this is going to be, a little bit different than what we just did. What we do with the chisel tip is we use the fact that it's chiseled. That's the whole reason we're having a chisel tip, right? I forgot to give him lettuce. Okay, fine. I'll give him lettuce. Are you happy now? Okay, so the chisel tip, this marker, if you look at it, it's got a little bit of a kind of like, well, it looks like a chisel. It's fat and wide here and can be skinny there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the skinny side. And I'm not going to move the way the marker is oriented. So that as it comes down, I get thick and thin. For this, I am not going to do what we were doing with the whole outside. Doesn't necessarily work. What does a chisel tip look like? Chisel tip, let's see, let's draw it up here. Chisel tip marker usually has a tip. Like this. Where the front end has this kind of like sort of triangular chisel thing. Does that answer your question, Molly? You can do this with any marker. I'm just choosing the chisel tip tonight because I want to show you guys a different technique. So I'm going to start again on the flat, and it gets thicker. And then if I turn it just a little bit, I get the thin again. Thin, thicker, thin again. I'm going to get that nice kind of rabbit ear thing going. I'm going to come up here. Just do this real quick. Okay. Now, for the bunny, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to chisel tip that right over to there. But bunnies have fuzz. I want them to have some fuzzy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make fuzz just like that. Then I'm going to continue down all the way down the belly. Up again. I'm going to take and have that varied line going with the chisel here. Chisel here. And I'm not going to touch it there because I want the feet to fit in. And I don't think I made the feet big enough. So we're going to have to make the feet comically big. We're talking like clown shoe big. Because that just works so much better. Now I didn't do the little indent thing over here because I'm using a chisel. And I kind of want this to be a little more graphic of a bunny. What I am going to do is here I'm going to make a little kind of like arm indicator. A little like half C. And we can do on the thin side of the chisel tip, I can go ahead and throw that in. And of course we have our lettuce. So I think I have to make look a little bit more like lettuce. There. Now I might have to switch from my chisel tip now. The reason being is because the chisel tip is not going to give me a small enough line in here to do what I need to do. So I'm going to go back to my fine liner to get inside here. The big boop nose with highlights in here. And I'm going to do something different with the highlights for this one too. And our cute little eyes. Here. What I'm going to do for this is I'm actually going to make another circle on the inside. I'm going to fill this circle with black. And then the outer circle is going to get a little line work so that it looks like it's shaded. And our whiskers, 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I think he's really happy now. I'm going to do a V, upside down U. And make our bunny friend very, very happy. Now, I haven't done it for the other ones, but I'm going to do it for here because I want to show you what happens when you go ahead and do your erasure. So right now we still see the line of his neck. With just me erasing that line, this whole rabbit drawing will change. Now he's just one big egg-shaped thing. So that was the goal. Big egg-shaped bunny. I tend to be a little wacky, a little crazy, but that's okay. As long as my wife can deal with me, then that's all that really matters. She's the one that has to live with me. Poor, poor lady. Give our bunny somewhere to live. With a chisel tip marker pointed at it. Now, you might say, where's the fluffy tail? Well, I'll be honest with you. Look at the size of this guy. I'm not going to see his tail. And if I put his tail out, it's going to be really weird. Just in the wrong spot. Our three little friends here. Okay, let's have some fun here. We are only at 7:03, and we usually go to 7:30, so I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to actually make it through all of these wonderful, beautiful little things and get this done. I am going to use a brush tip like we used before to shade things in to do all the line work on these guys. So why would one use a brush tip? Again, you can go thick to thin, but not as the same way that you do with the chisel tip. It's a little bit more fluid. And I kind of want it more fluid. I can get really thin. And you notice how I'm curving the lines on the fish. One of the things that I really like about cartoons like this is, you know, having the lines match with the character. And for some reason, a fish always says to me, curves and curvilinear. The reason I think is just because it's simply has a nicer flow to it. And I know that sounds punny, but the honest truth is it just looks a little bit more fluid. It looks a little bit more like it flows together and should belong together. Now, the thing about brush pens that you got to watch out for is that you don't put too much down. We got a cute little fish here. Okay. And we can even go ahead and use that brush tip to have some little details going on in the fence. Okay. Now, if I wanted to do scales on my fish, scales are really funky. You don't have to do the whole... Oh my gosh, I've had this camera in the wrong spot the whole time. Ah! Sorry, guys. That's what happens when I get so involved in the drawing and I don't look up. See, that's why I like a brush pen. I can do little U's, but notice how I put the center of the U as the meeting place for the next set of U's. And that's what gives me that scaled look. Now, the beautiful part about doing scales on a cartoon is you don't have to do every scale. It's okay. You can do what we call a suggestion of scales. Okay. So I can suggest scales on him, and that just means that the whole thing's going to be scaly in the cartoon. What I do want to do, though, is I do want to make these little bubbles. I leave those a little sketchy. All right, move down to our parakeet and our gecko. Parakeet looks like a really good subject for our chisel tip again. And I think the reason why I'm thinking that is mostly because of how, everything kind of like comes together like this. So I kind of like things thicker on this one. I'm going to leave them more thick than thin. And I'm actually going to dip that down and out at the end so that we know that the wing is separate. That also gives me a nice continuation line for the tail feather. Now with these, since I'm using a chisel tip, I can just go ahead and use the entire chisel and make these little black legs. Hard part is making sure that you continue this line. Now, we can go ahead and we can make some feathering. I'm going to use the point of one end of the chisel to make this more detailed. And it's the same concept as the fish. We do not have to do every single feather. And I'm going to use the point, and I think I'm going to make the beak smaller. Like that. A rounded eye. Yep. And the thing about parakeets is that, they're all different colors, right? So let's erase that old beak line because it looks like his mouth or her mouth is like wide open. There we go. That's a little better. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the wings a different color by adding, with my fine line, just some lines. All the lines are right on top of each other, or right next to each other, and they're all exactly the same direction and pretty much the same space apart. So what it does is it fools the eye of the person looking at it to think that it's a darker tone, when in fact it's not. They're just combining the lines with their eyes to make it seem like it's darker. Artists are so tricksy. That's what we do. We mess with people's heads. No, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Stop talking like that. I told you never when people are around. Sorry. It better be. Oh, I'm sorry. You're still there. Hi! I wasn't really talking to anybody in particular. I gotta remember not to do that when I'm on video. So if you are not watching on the HAPS app, you can tune in anytime to hapstv.com. Really great new platform. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Uh-oh, here he goes. He's doing it again. I'm making one side of the beak in shadow. And there we have it. There's our little parakeet. Yay, parakeet! And the gecko, I'm going to do the same way we did our first set of people, but I'm going to add detail as I go along. So pay attention. So this kind of looks like a symbol, right? Or actually, it looks like a fortune cookie. So I'm going to go with the outside, but I'm going to add and repair as I go. Some of these lines I really don't like. I went too fast. I might do a little curvy line here. I think I'm going to move that mouth. Have it come all the way over. And these eyes got to be really buggy. And the bigger I make the pupil, the cuter the animal is. Now remember, none of this stuff is necessarily anatomically correct by any means. It doesn't really have to be. I mean, it's got to have some semblance of... I forgot geckos have these little pads on their feet. Little pads. Little suction cups. And I probably gave it extra toes, but that's okay. My sister will never forgive me. She has geckos. She's going to tell me everything that's anatomically wrong with the gecko. That's okay. I don't mind. I have a license. An artistic license. Ha ha ha. Go tail. Get that back leg. There's our little gecko. I'm doing some stripes on his tail. Oh, little nostrils. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely he did. He's a very excitable little gecko, that little gecko. I don't know why. We are almost, wow, we're almost there. I almost went all the way around. We got our chubby puppy. I like this chubby puppy. This is probably my favorite. I have never done a puppy this chubby before. He kind of looks like a bowling pin. I'm okay with that, though. I think it's a cute thing to have a bowling pin puppy. I don't know if the puppy would enjoy it. Actually, you know what it reminds me of? Oh my gosh, it reminds me of a dog from my childhood. So, story time, everybody. And thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Please subscribe to this channel. I am going to be coming on lots and lots. Usually every Friday and Sunday, Friday afternoon for kind of a chill out and draw sort of thing with some of my fellow artists. And then on Sunday, it's more of this, where I will be drawing. And it's not always cartoons. It's a lot of the time we do watercolor demos and all sorts of fun stuff. Like I've done, flowers and whatnot, and landscapes, etc. All the classic stuffs. So, back to story time. Here we go. So, there was a dog in my neighborhood, lived right next door to me. And sometimes, when you name a dog as a puppy, You don't quite know what the dog's going to be like when it grows up. And this dog was named when he was a puppy, and I met him when he was a puppy. He was exactly this name, Spunky. He was real energetic and running around and cute dog and just like little puppy, right? Well, Spunky grew older. Spunky happened to be a Basset Hound and St. Bernard mix. So he was this giant dog with huge floppy ears and little tiny legs. And when he stood up on the edge of the fence, he was taller than the 4-foot fence. I mean, his head came up over the fence, but he had these little tiny legs. And the best part of Spunky, this is my favorite part of this dog, was how Spunky used to bark, because it was the most unspunky thing. As if every single sound was a labor to get out. It was hysterical, especially when the owners came out and started calling, Spunky! Spunky! It was, one of those fact is stranger than fiction. Well, this is fact is a heck of a lot funnier than fiction. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to give them little dots. Classic cartoon thing to do for dogs. And I started in the center this time, and I'm using a big felt tip. So it's a lot different to have this big felt tip going on here. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a Pluto here. Give it half a circle. And I'm going to circle off all this stuff. Now I'm going to stop right here and go in. Down here, half a circle again. I'm going to go straight down to that collar. Okay. Round it off. Round it off. Come in to stop. A little divot. There. And straight down to the collar. Little curve and straight down. Now don't worry if you haven't been catching every little tiny thing I'm doing. This is being recorded. That's right. You can see it on my YouTube channel. You can see it on Facebook. You can even see it here on Haps. And I believe Twitch is recording it as well. So lots of different ways to find it. Lots of different places to find me. If you haven't subscribed to me on Twitch or subscribed / liked my Facebook page, The Art of Jason Robert LeClaire, or even just me, Jason Robert LeClaire, on Facebook, that's always there and available. I'm also on Instagram if you want to see more of the work, and my website is cartoonsandcreatures.com. I really enjoy doing cartoons like this, but I also have a real penchant for fantasy illustration. So you'll see everything from, cute little duckies to dragons. And it's just, that's me. I'm kind of like all over the board when it comes to these things. I live in a fantasy fiction world. Now for the paws, I've gone 1, 2, 3, and I've kind of rounded it off a little bit. Just because I think it'll be cute. And then we've got our little Pudge. And there. Now we don't have eyebrows for him. He's very surprised. Shock and awe! And when you're doing a dog, classic things that you can do with a dog are, Make it a spotted dog. And give it little patches of color here and there, you know. And so we've got different, things that can happen with this dog. Now I'm going to stick with the felt pen, even for the shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do an in and out scribble. And again, all the things I'm showing you are like really quick ways to do cartoons. When I'm working as an illustrator, I work really, really hyper detailed. But sometimes it's just really great to blow off steam and just do these kind of like doodles and stuff. It's so much fun. We're at 5 minutes before the end. And we're back at the beginning. Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, the cat, our little feline princess. So we've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to go at it again with the big felt tip, and then I'll add some detail afterwards in there. But I'm going to make this really high graphic. And what I mean by that is the shapes that are here, I'm going to leave as shapes. I'm not going to kind of like finesse them and change them into anything. I want to leave them as much to the shapes as they are. So I'm going to start with the ear. The details will come later in how I handle that. I draw the whole head. So I'm going to draw everything the way that, it is down here. Try to follow it line for line. And it's just a different cartooning style. It's very highly graphic. It's very about the shapes and suggesting that something is what it is. Not necessarily trying to make it look realistic, trying to make it look like a set of shapes that suggests this is a cat. And that's a very fun style to work in. And part of it is because it doesn't require you to worry about a lot of detail. It doesn't require you to get things, quote unquote, perfect and looking real. What it asks you to do is suggest by a series of lines that something is something else. Now, remember I said we forgot the whiskers. I'm going to make them very straight. They fit with the rest of the picture. They're very calculated. Now, there are a couple details we are going to put in that weren't here in the first place. A cat has an interior to an ear. I'm just going to add a line on there to make it look like an interior. We are going to put in we'll do a single glint. The glint is, again, the white portion. Now, we said that this cat was a Siamese. So, Give her the seal point tips up at the top. Give her black-ended tail. And the black paws. Now for this, I'm going to have to leave space for the white to show so that we can still see the line between. So that means I just have to make another line next to it and leave it blank. And I'll fill it in. And of course, you can do the same for the back paws or whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to give her a little bell, because bells I can do highly graphic. Circle, circle, circle. Black out the circles, and you have a bell. Okay, and there's our last cartoon, and it is, boom, 7:30. What do you think of that, eh? Okay, so we were trying to make sure that we had everything done by 7:30. We started with our friendly cat. We ended with our friendly cat. And everybody got inked. Everybody had a chance to get drawn. We got lots of directions in here, lots of tutorials. This hopefully you'll be able to do the basics on one of your pets if you have a pet, or you can go ahead and just draw animals that you find cute. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. I hope you had a good time hanging around. It looks like we have 58 people tune in, which is fabuloso. And we'll see you again next week, right here at the same time, right through HAPS again. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the HAPS, subscribe to the YouTube, go ahead and like the Facebook page. If you have any questions, you can direct message me on the Art of Jason Robert LeClaire, or through Facebook. That's probably the easiest way. If you'd like to, you can also do my Instagram. I'm so hard to find because everything is labeled Jason Robert LeClaire. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an absolutely fabulous weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun.